Riding forth from Dunharrow, King Theoden leads the riders of Rohan towards the fields of the Pelennor. But the thwarted army of Dunland lies in wait. Will Theoden be victorious, or will the Dunlendings, led by Thrydan Wolfsbane, finally make good on their claims? A final goodbye to the current edition of Middle-earth strategy battle games sees two classic armies battle it out. The riders of Theoden versus the army of Dunland, a thematic matchup to celebrate the release of the War of the Rohirrim and the new edition. Find out in this 500-point match play battle report. Hello and welcome to Striding Edge Games. We're your hosts, I'm Boris.
And I'm Julian.
And we're here with another matched play battle report. 500 points of Rohan versus Isengard in brackets, Dunland.
Army of Dunland.
Army of Dunland. So what are we doing today?
So we're playing like a little, maybe a what if.
Yeah.
Where Theoden and Dunhelm are on their way to the Pelennor fields.
Yeah.
And they're trying to secure maybe a pass out of Rohan. And Thrydan, the sort of, Erzat's king of Dunland, has trying to stop them. Maybe they're still in cahoots with Saruman.
I think they haven't heard that Isengard's been beaten up by Ents, and they're like, no, we're not going to let you get out of Rohan and reinforce Minas Tirith, and have thrown up a little ambush, and the Rohirrim are like, hey, we've already done this once, don't worry, we got you.
Yeah, so it's a nice little 500-point battle.
Yep.
We're playing the breakthrough scenario.
Yeah, so really super simple. 4 objectives. The one in your opponent's deployment zone is worth more. The middle 2 are worth medium amount, and the one in your deployment zone is worth the least. And
To you.
To you. And there are points for leader kills / wounds and breaking. Breaking is at 25%, or rather game ends on 25% quartering. So quite simple. Force is going to be interesting. I've got 19 models, you've got 35?
35, yeah.
And you're specifically the Dunland Legendary Legion, so
Yep.
you are specifically
hating Rohan.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on that, but
As opposed to normally when they don't hate Rohan.
Yeah, I think it's a good one to give fighting chance, because we've both used these exact lists in events recently, and did okay. Rohan, I always enjoy. That is my old school. That was my first faction that I got into, and that is the thing that brought me back into Middle Earth after a long time away. I think Dunland are an old favourite of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get some from when the War in Rohan book came out. Didn't do too well at the event, actually. I think I was pretty much 4 losses, but they
struggle.
They're fun. Yeah, I mean, they have some real weaknesses. I mean, I will have some advantage in this with the fighting Rohan.
Yeah.
But
I'm the Riders of Theoden Legendary Legion because, to be honest, you're taking Theoden, why not? Got Dernhelm and Diorwine, 2 of the intermediate heroes, so pretty standard, really not basic, but pretty cookie cutter Rohan list, whereas you've got a very specific anti-Rohan list, so that'll be a fun matchup. You've got a lot more bodies on the field to hold objectives, so that's going to be interesting, but I'm all mounted and have a bit more shooting, so there might be a bit of skirmishing, but 4 foot runs out of board real quick.
Yep.
Who knows? Predictions? How do you think this is going to go down?
Well, we know that Theoden gets to Pelennor, so, I mean, he basically has to win, right?
He has to, right. Yeah, no pressure. I think it's going to be a lot of movement, and then there'll be a clash, and there's basically going to be like 2 turns of decisive combat.
So you mean you're just going to run away a lot?
No, we're going to wait to engage you on our own terms. I mean, you've got shooting as well, so maybe if I get a few horses get shot out from under me, there won't be a choice.
Yeah, my 6 bows are really going to mess you up.
That's a lot more than a lot of other people have. So yeah, really nice and simple. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm raring to pull off some good cavalry charges, but I think obviously heroic moves is going to be a big thing. We've deployed, as you can see on the board, 3 warbands apiece, so we'll just go straight into rolling for priority. Rohan will lead off and gets a big 5, a 1 from Isengard Dunland. So we'll go into Rohan, turn 1.
Make Dunland great again. 500 points of the army of Dunland in the Legendary Legion, led by Thrydan Wolfsbane. consists of 35 models, 5 bows. There is a breakpoint of 18, 8 might across the legion. We have Thrydan Wolfsbane on a horse. He's accompanied by 4 Dunlending horsemen, 2 Dunlending warriors with 2-handed axes, 2 Dunlending warriors with bows, and 4 Dunlending Huskarls. The second warband has the Dunlending chieftain with no upgrades. He's got 1 Dunlending warrior with a banner, 4 with shields, 2 with 2-handed axes, 3 with bows, and 2 more Huskarls. The final warband is the Wildman Oathmaker. He's got 4 wild men with him, they've got no upgrades, and 4 more with 2-handed axes.
"500 points of Rohan in the Riders of Theoden Legendary Legion, consisting of 19 models and a break point of 10. The first warband is led by Theoden with an armoured horse and shield. He's leading 6 Royal Guard, 2 with throwing spears. The second warband is led by Diorwine. He's leading 2 riders with throwing spears and 4 without. The final warband is led by Dunharrow, who's leading 4 riders, 1 with a throwing spear. Turn 1 Rohan, and we have been pretty conservative. Both warbands with Diorwine and Dunharrow have sat still to get some shots at the big block of Dunlendings. They're pretty scary. Theoden's warband has split up because they only have throwing spears, no bows. Race forward 10 towards this objective, and a couple have gone round the side just to see if we can close off some avenues from the enemy cavalry. That is it. No spells, obviously, so on to Dunland movement.
Army of Dunland movement. Haven't moved much. The Dunlendings on the hill here have moved down. The archers staying in the tower. In the middle, Thrydan has moved up carefully and just readjusted the line in preparation for Theoden's charge.
Start of Rohan shooting, and we have some riders. 3 with bows are going to shoot at the Dunlending archers to try and reduce the incoming return fire. So they've all stood still. 4s, 2 hit, 5s to kill. Nothing. That's a shame. We're going to carry on firing into the archers. 1 who doesn't have an in the way, firing. Yeah, it's a hit. 5s to kill. No, nothing. And then 2 more are going to fire with an in the way for the rocks. 1 hit. Does it go through? It goes through. And once more. Come on, 5. No, absolutely nothing. Last shooting, we have 4 bows in Dunharrow's group. They're going to take a pot shot at Thrydan, see what we can do. 4 shots hitting on 4s. 2 hits, statistically probable. Up or down? Both down. Regular horse, so 5s to kill. And that is 1 kill. That is Thrydan dehorsed.
Thrown rider check for Thrydan. He's all right.
It's all good.
That wasn't a very good shooting phase for Dunland. I mean, we survived, but Thrydan losing his horse this early is quite a big deal. We're going to return fire. We've got the 3 Dunlending archers in the watchtower. One of them's got a clear shot on Diorwine. The one with a clear shot, we're looking for 4s here. That's a hit. Is it up or down? It's down. Ooh. It's going to be 5s to kill the horse. No kill. All right. 2 other shots from the archers in the tower. They've gone in the way on that single Rohirrim warrior that's in the way. 2 dice. Looking for 4s. Nothing. Next up, we've got 2 more Dunlending warriors with bows. They're going to keep shooting at Diorwine. 2 dice. Looking for 4s here. That's 2 hits. Up or down. 1 up, 1 down. So 1 into the horse, which is on 5s.
Ooh, that's really good. I think Diorwine's going to have to use his Horse Lord rule to spend a point of fate. It's his only point of fate, but I don't want to lose his horse. So 4 up. Oh no. Do I burn 2 points of might to keep his horse alive? I think that's silly. So yeah, he's dismounted. That's a huge shame. Throne Rider, he's all good. Rises from the ashes.
All right, and the follow-up shot is into him himself. He's D7.
Yeah. So
we're looking for 6s and then 4s. Wow, we got a 6. All right, the 4.
No way. And he's already spent his fate. Okay, he takes a wound.
Diorwine takes a wound.
And straight into priority for next turn. That was a hell of a shooting phase. Weirdly effective. 2 heroes dismounted and Diorwine now on 1 wound, no fate. That's really unfortunate. But we'll go straight into priority for turn 2. Rohan, get a big 6. 3. So it is on to Rohan, turn 2. Start of the turn, and the Rohan moves, we have flooded forward. We've made an inadvertent sort of line, but that's actually just stay out of charge range. Everything should be 6 inches away, or 10 for the cavalry. Some of the archers have stayed back, or the riders with bows have stayed back to get some more shots. Dealwine has run up and taken slight cover behind some rocks to prevent, hopefully, more damage. And Theoden is leading his Royal Guard on this flank. Hopefully next turn or two get some charges on those wild men.
Army of Dunland movement. With the threat of Theoden and his riders, the wild men have spread out. They're going to sell themselves dearly and hopefully maybe not get completely butchered by the mass cavalry charge. In the middle, Thrydan and his fellows are charging forwards. He might take a couple of spears and bows in the face, but I'm hoping he's going to survive it. And then on the side, the hilltop Dunlendings have come down. They're threatening the Rohan flank and moving towards the objective, maybe. There were a couple of opportunities to maybe charge. One of the wildmen might have got to Theoden. A couple of the horsemen could have hit some Rohirrim. But we've held our fire for now, just on the basis that it would have been a sort of quite uneven combat, or at least a balanced combat, and we don't know who's going to win.
Rohan shooting, we're just going to start with the 4 riders who haven't moved. 4 bow shots into the group of Dunlendings on the objective, hitting on 4s, 2 hits, and 6s to kill. Double 6. Okay, 2 dead. Second 2 riders with bows are going to shoot that front Dunlending horseman, hitting on 4s, double 4 for a hit. 2 up and down, both down on the horse, so 5s to kill the horse. 4 and a 2, so nothing. 2 riders with throwing spears who moved half. They're going to throw their spears at Thrydan. Why not? 5s to hit, nothing. And then we have a rider with a bow who moved half. 5s to hit at the horseman, nothing. And the throwing spear next to him, 5s to hit, nothing. Finally, a Royal Guard with a throwing spear against the wildman. That is a 6 to hit. 4s to kill. No, not on a 2.
Okay, for the Dunland shooting, we're going to start with these 3 archers in the tower. We're going to speculatively try and finish off Dealwine as he's weak now. So 1 archer hitting on 4s. No. We'll try another one. That's a hit. There's a 4 up in the way because of the rocks that are in the way. That goes through. Okay, and now we're looking for 6s by 4s. Oof, it's close. All right, the last one in the tower misses. Continuing the Dunland shooting, we're going to try one of the bowmen that's close to you shooting at the rider with the spear. It's a miss, and the other guy will try the same. Also a miss. That's the end of the Dunlending shooting phase.
End of the turn, still kind of moving around each other. A couple kills for Rohan, so that's great. Looks like priority, this is going to be a big one. This is where sides might clash. So priority roll, 1 for Rohan.
So it goes to Dunland automatically.
Goes to Dunland automatically, and we'll see what happens. Big turn, Rohan lost priority, and we probably wanted to get the charge. There is something to be said for letting Dunland move first and then counter-charging, but we did decide to go with one of Eowyn's points of might on Dunharrow, which catches most of those riders in sort of up to Theoden over here. So in retaliation, Dunland called...
the Wildman Oathmaker. He's going to spend a point of might to mobilise that little blob of wildmen. It won't stop Dunharrow, but it may be able to stop a few cavalry charges.
Yeah, and then actually thinking about it, Dealwine's only got 1 wound left and 3 might, so actually I'm kind of keen to spend it at the moment. It only catches these 2 riders next to him, but he's spent for a heroic move as well. A couple of riders behind him are in the bubble as well, so we've got multiple heroic moves, evil priority, so roll off to see who goes off first.
All right.
Ooh,
goes to good.
It's good movement. And that is the extent of Dunharrow's heroic move. She just crested this hedge and crashed into the rider. Another couple of riders went over here. One bravely tagged a warrior and Thrydan, just forcing him to do a heroic combat if he wants to get into combat with more than 1 model. Over here, Theoden and a couple of Royal Guard have hit the wild men. Weren't obviously able to turn off the Oathmaker's heroic move because he's really far back, so we'll have counter moves, but hopefully that's done quite a good job on the combats. We threw a couple of throwing spears on the way in and no effect. So on to the heroic move for Dunland.
Okay, on the Dunland side, for the Oathmaker's heroic move, he's stood still and like madly chanted or something, exhorting his berserk fellows forwards. They've charged forwards, frothing with madness at the sight of the old king, and have tried to surround him, oblivious to the danger of countercharging Rohirrim knights who are going to get in there. The single Dunland horseman over here has moved forwards to try and sort of block access to the Oathmaker, and there was another horseman that was in range. He's literally been able to move an inch forwards because he's caught in the Oathmaker's heroic bubble. And now on to Diorwine's heroic move.
Diorwine's move, and he's run forward as fast as little legs can take him, wants to get stuck in, but he's not in combat there. He's brought one rider around the side here to tag a Huskarl, stop some supports, and these two riders have moved half behind the rock, but stayed outside of 6 of this big block of infantry, which still got to move. There's a lot of charging and counter-charging this turn, but we're on to Dunland regular moves. I'm going to see what happens.
Dunland's movement, priority movement. We've charged in to try and make these fights a bit more one-sided. Unfortunately, we can't actually get to Diorwine or Durnhelm because we're blocked off by the Rohirrim's movement. And there is a danger of Durnhelm in particular calling heroic combat and really messing things up. But that's all we've done. We've squeezed in, archers staying still, they'll keep shooting. Hopefully this might go well for us.
And the last of the Rohan priority moves, the riders, 2 over here, just moved up, charged, one charged, another getting in position for next turn. Over here, this back Rohirrim stayed on the objective, and his buddy has started running towards the other objective that the Royal Guard have left behind. And the last 2 Royal Guard are charged into Theoden's combat, just to try and even it up a little bit. We're not quite in combat with that rider. We're on to shooting. Rohan have no shooting, so let's see what the evil side do.
For the shooting phases was relatively uneventful. The 3 Dunlending warriors in the tower managed to dehorse the lone Rohan warrior. Rohan in return had 1 bow shot at a spear support. They took a hit, but failed to wound.
And start of the combat phase, we knew this would be the big one. Rohan have called Death their special rule for the Legendary Legions, allowing them to do a free combat or strike for every hero within 12 of Theoden, which happily is everyone. So we have called a heroic combat on Theoden. He is against 3 wildmen at the moment. A heroic combat on Durnhelm, who's against 1 rider, and a heroic strike on Diorwine, who isn't in combat, but he is within range of Thrydan and the enemy captain. In response, Dunland have called.
So we've used the Dunlending War Cry special rule, which once per game, Thrydan can declare he's using this ability. All friendly Dunlendings to the end of the turn, within 12 inches of him, gain a bonus of +1 to wound when making strikes.
Oof.
Coupled with the fact that every Dunlending hates Rohan, we're looking at a minimum of +2 to wound.
+3 on those 2-handed axes.
+3 on some of those 2-handed axes. Which basically means it's going to be on 2s a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, in addition, Thrydan is calling a heroic combat, and the Dunlending Chieftain is also calling a heroic combat. This is a big turn. We're spending a lot of resource on this.
There we go.
So, with all those heroic combats, it's going into a roll-off to see which one goes first. It goes to Evil. Okay, so the first heroic combat, we're going with Thrydan. He's got a lot of friends with this one plucky Rohan warrior who's going to take his cavalry charge rolls.
We're going to win. We're going to win. Big 6.
Oh, he's got the 6. Okay, Thrydan's got 5 warriors with him. I'll roll those. And we got 1-6. So it's a win for the Dunland side. No traps on this one. So we'll start with Thrydan's 2 attacks. He's not using his 2-handed axe, but he is strength 5, which means with the +2 bonus, he's wounding on 2s. And unsurprisingly, that poor Rohirrim is dead. Okay, and to follow up on the heroic combat, Thrydan and the 3 other individuals that were engaged, not the supports, have moved up. Thrydan and 2 others have charged Diorwine, and 1 more Dunlending has gone to support the 2-hander on the flank there.
Chose between, we have 2 heroic combats, Durnhelm and Theoden. We went with Theoden to let the other Dunlending heroic combat go off first and then respond to it. So Theoden, after all the fights were signed, is against 3 wildmen. He has 3 attacks on the charge, rolls that big 6.
Let's just see what the wildman might have done.
Yeah,
no, 5. No game closed.
Respectable. Strength 5, defense 3 on the charge, so we are needing 3s to kill these. 2 attacks apiece. Just got 1, just got the second one, and the third one got twice. Having successfully killed 3 of them, the Theoden has charged straight into their chieftain, the Oathmaker, just about making it.
Now for the next heroic combat with the Dunlending chieftain versus Rohan warrior.
Brave.
The Rohan warrior charged in.
Yeah, brave, plucky warrior. So we do get 2 attacks. Let's see what we set the bar at. A double 1. Fantastic.
Ah, that's got to hurt. There are, in return, 3 warriors. They're all using swords rather than taking the risk of the -1. And we go to 6.
Didn't need to.
That lone Rohirrim is trapped. So we've got 4 normal strikes, which are on 3s. And he's immediately dead, even with the 1 out. That's actually...
You tried your best not to.
Yeah, he's very dead. Okay, and following up, the chieftain has joined in on that combat on Diorwine, sending 1 warrior as a blocker. 1 of the Huskarls is supporting Thrydan. The banner has moved into safety. The last Huskarl is supporting against that other Rohan fight, and 1 more model, which wasn't engaged, is standing still, looking a bit silly.
Last heroic combat is Dunhelm against a single Dunlending horseman. We have 3 attacks on the charge. Only a 3. Single attack back.
That hurts. We got a 3, but we have a banner within 6 inches.
It's true. Oh.
Or into a 4. At least you've got to spend the might.
Yeah, we'll spend a single point of Mary's might, so Dunhelm as a character is down to 1 on might left, but that bumps it to a 4, wins on the fight value. 3 strikes at strength 4 to kill. Get it on the 6, just.
So close.
And at the end of the combat, Dunhelm's just gone round into 2 supporting Huskarls. We're going to try and just keep killing infantry as fast as we can.
With the heroic combats over, we're on to the normal combats. We're going to start with the wild man flank. We've got the 1 plucky wildman who managed to make a charge. He's against 2 royal guards.
Yep, just no charge bonus at 2 dice flat, 5 high.
All right, so if I get a 6 here...
Ooh, out the tray.
Out the tray. Also out the tray.
Too excited. Oh,
5 high. You win on fight.
Win on fight value. Force to kill. No.
Nice.
Charging royal guard against a single wildman. 2 attacks. 6 high, so we win on the fight value.
All right.
And 4. 4's to kill. Yeah, we get him.
Now we have another royal guard versus a wildman who's going to swing wildly and get a 2.
5 high. 4's to kill. Only just.
And now we've got 2 one-on-ones, pretty similar. We'll do them 1 by 1. The royal guard.
5 high. Big 1.
That's a 1.
And 4's to kill. Triple 1, but we get him on a 6, just.
And the same again. Oh!
6.
Ah.
Rolled well. 4's to kill. Yeah, get him 3 times over. On this flank, last we have Theoden versus the Oathmaker. Theoden charged, so 3 attacks, big 6. I believe he wins on the fight.
Theoden's got it.
6 attacks, 4's to wound with strength 5. All 1 out the tray, could be big. Oh, okay. So we've caused 2 wounds. I presume you want to throw your fate at that?
Yeah, the Oathmaker, he's got 1 fate, which he passes.
Passes. So yeah, we will spend 1 point of might, bump one of those 3s to a 4, and that is the Oathmaker killed.
All right, moving on to the main event, we've got a single Rohirrim versus a Dunlending horseman. The horseman's going to do a piercing strike, but as both are cavalry, it's kind of an even win, apart from the Rohirrim have got a fight 4 edge. So let's see what the horseman gets. He gets a 5.
5, can we do the 6? Oh, 5, we're winning on fight value. I presume you want to do a...
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the banner reroll and really hope for a 6 here.
Here we go. Oh, wasn't meant to be.
So my defense is lowered by 3.
Still 4's to kill. Next we have a rider who is charged against a single Dunlending warrior. The rider gets a 6 high.
So he wins.
Wins on the fight value. 4's to kill. Yep, just 1 on 4 dice again.
Okay, and then we've got the fight on the flank. This warrior is out of the Theoden fight bubble. So it's 3 dice versus 2 dice, but we're both on fight 3.
Yeah, we did charge, so 5 high. 5 high.
5 high. I will take a banner reroll on one of these. Into a 4 high. So it's a tie.
It's a dice off your priority. Let's see who wins.
Goes to evil.
Goes to evil.
Thanks to our stack bonuses, we're going to start with a attack into the horse, just in case, and then we're looking for 2s. The horse is dead. And then 2 more into the rider, which is on 3s. Yeah, also dead.
We've only got hero fights left, so we have Dunhelm, fresh from heroic combat, into 2 Huskarls. 4 dice on the charge. Ooh, only a 5.
And the 2 Huskarls fighting back. We get a 2 high. Well, we're going to banner already. Into a 2. Great.
Sad times. We'll roll these 2 at a time, needing 5s.
No. Second attack? No. Third attack? No. And fourth attack? No. Amazing. So they get knocked prone, but no wounds. So last but certainly not least, we have Diorwine versus Thrydan, the Dunlending chieftain, 2 warriors and a Huskarl in support against poor old Diorwine. He did call a free heroic strike with the death legendary legion bonus, so let's see what he rolls. 3, so he goes up to fight 8. So he's currently in the lead. Diorwine's 2 attacks. We're going to go big here and not shield. He rolls. Only a 3, that's really unfortunate.
You hate to see that.
Okay, we've got a lot of attacks back. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, so we've got 3 warriors. They're all going to strike normally. One of them supporting. We get 4. Then let's do the chieftain. He's got the 6.
Okay, you win. Nothing I can do about that.
Okay, so we're going to start this with Thrydan. Diorwine, unfortunately, is trapped because that Rohan warrior can't move out of the way. He's got 2 attacks, doubled. That is 4... no, sorry. I tell a lie. That's 6 wounds from Thrydan because his Mighty Blow special rule.
Yeah, and he spent his point of fate trying to keep his horse alive, and only 2 wounds, so he is definitively dead. And that is the end of the turn. Really bloody from both sides. The Royal Guard and Theoden made really good work over here, but on the other flank, the Dunlendings really cut people down. Diorwine dying with 2 points of might on the table. Same as the Oathmaker. Really hurt. That's when our big hero's gone. We'll go straight into priority for the next turn, which again will be a really critical one. Rohan of 1 and 2 from Dunland, so it is Dunland priority. Start the turn, Rohan's choice on heroics, really tough. We've got 1 point of might left on Dunharrow. We could have called it, but it only would have caught 2 riders over here and Theoden. None of these Royal Guard would have been of use, and then could have been sort of tied up with a couple of models over here. So Theoden's got 2 points of might left. He's going to call a heroic move. It catches all of the Royal Guard around here and Dunharrow, so he can try and get her out of danger. These 2 riders in the middle are just going to have to accept that they're going to get charged, and then all the other riders at the back are going to have to just hope that we can weather the storm. As a result, Dunland decided...
For Dunland, with Theoden calling the heroic, we're going to keep the might on Thrydan and the chieftain, as we don't have too much remaining and we need to marshal those resources.
And that's the heroic move. Theoden's just moved to the centre here, bringing a couple Royal Guard with him. Dernhelm's moved out of the control zone of that cavalry and just managed to charge one of these archers. A couple of Royal Guard over here charged this horseman, one through a throwing spear and obviously missed. And this one Royal Guard on the end wasn't in the move, so has stayed there. Might get charged by a Dunland Wildman, but we'll see what we can do. On to Dunlending regular moves.
And for the end of the Dunland moves, that's that. We've tied up the Rohirrim in the middle. We've countered onto Dernhelm and finishing off any exposed riders.
Rohan movement, last 2 riders. This right at the back holding our objective has just moved out of 6 in case a combat or next turn priority can't be charged yet. And the rider who was headed for this objective got carried away and has come back into this central objective. We're going to try our best not to yield ground without a fight.
For the shooting phase, it was extremely uneventful. The 3 Dunlendings in the tower attempted to shoot one of the Royal Guards. All 3 missed, and 1 Royal Guard with a throwing spear had a clear shot on a spear support. He also missed.
On to combat.
In the combat phase, with pretty inconsequential engagements for the moment, there's no heroics being called on either side. We're going to start over here with the Dunland chieftain fighting a single rider. The chieftain is going to 2-hand this time because we don't have the +1, the extra +1 bonus, and we like that. So 2 dice, goes to a 5.
1 attack from the rider goes to a 5.
That's a victory for the chieftain on fight value. Okay, so 2 attacks into the rider. Chieftain is strength 5, so it's 4s, +1, +1. So 3s. 2s even. That's a dead rider.
Next fight, we have 2 Dunlending warriors and Thrydan versus another poor rider. Just the 1 attack as he got charged. Big 4.
Okay, everyone is doing their 2 hands. Thrydan gets a 3, and we get a 4. So we win this one and fight again. Thrydan's attacks kills him. Now we have 1 Rohan warrior versus 2 Huskarls and a Dunlending warrior.
Brave little warrior. He's going to shield. Oh, 1 out the tray. 5 high.
5 high. The Huskarls are 2-handing. The warrior is going to piercing strike. 2s, which go to 1. Oh, and the 6. Okay, so the piercing strike, he's on strength 5 against defense 5, so that's 3s. Kills him.
Next, combat, we have a single rider against 5 Dunlendings. He's going to roll his mighty 1 dice, a big 3. Let's see if he can beat that.
Yeah, all the Huskars are going to 2-hand, and because there's a banner on there, everyone is on -1, but it's 5 attacks. So 3 high at the moment, and we get 1 reroll. It's a tie on fight value.
Okay.
So it goes into a roll-off.
Your priority.
On priority roll, 1, 2, 3, evil. Oh, it goes evil. The 4 Huskars, yeah, they kill him.
Last 2 in the middle, we have a rider with a throwing spear got charged, so he's on a single dice, 2 high.
He's versus a man with a 2-handed axe who's going to swing overhand. He goes to a 1 though. Oof. The banner re-rolls it into a 5. On a 3, he'll kill that rider. Then we have the rider that charged in to try and save his friend versus one guy who's going to shield.
Okay, 2 attacks from the riders, 6 high.
6 high. It's a tie on fight value. All right, goes to the roll-off, which goes to evil because we shielded.
Over on the other flank, we have 2 Royal Guard versus a Dunlending Cav. We have 2 attacks from the Rohirrim, 6 high, and we win it on the fight value.
You won.
5s to kill. Nope, nothing on a 2 and a 1.
For the last fight on the western flank, we have 1 plucky Wildman versus a Royal Guard. The Wildman's going to lead off. He gets the 3.
Big 3, 2 from the Royal Guard.
For the Royal Guard.
He loses.
The Wildman's going to go after the horse. He's looking for 4s here, but fails to do it.
Last fight of the turn, we have Dunharrow, who's charged some archers and got countercharged by a horseman. 3 attacks against 3 attacks coming back in. Dunharrow starts off with only a 4 high.
Okay, so the 2 archers, they got a 6. The 2 archers are going to try and dehorse Dunharrow. 2 dice. That's a failure on both. And then the horseman is going to do the same. They've got the special rule, go for the horses. So the Dunlending horseman special rule is that they re-roll 1s when they fail to wound against horses. So that's no wounds. Dunharrow's still standing.
And that is the end of the turn. Absolutely disastrous, Rohan. We didn't kill a single warrior, and we lost a lot in return. We are 2 models away from breaking now, which is really bad news. Got a lot of dangerous combatants still on the board in our heroes and our Royal Guard, which is great. But we're really low on might, and we're all out of position now. So it's going to be pretty decisive. Let's see. We've got priority roll. Rohan roll of mighty 2, and Isengard, or Dunland, 6.
We get 6 there.
Okay, on to Dunland, priority move.
For the Dunland movement, there were no heroics from Rohan. I think there was some consideration on Boris's part, but it wasn't really a good choice either way. Lose a might and get a few models into combat, or not spend it and potentially get charged. However, I didn't fancy my odds with 2 archers and a horseman, so I have actually backed away and tried to reform a line heading back towards our own deployment, and sending a few models to try and deal with those pesky Rohirrim that are in their deployment zone. It's a gamble to split up like this, but might be able to do it. And the rest of the models, the Wildman charged and the other horseman is gone deep into the backfield. Maybe draw out some Rohirrim.
Rohan movement. It's definitely a game of movement now. Gone kind of all over the place. These 2 Royal Guard in the middle have edged forward just to get in range of a couple throwing spears. 1 Royal Guard came over to here to help out his buddy who failed last time. Theoden and a Royal Guard came back to see if we can deal with this pesky horseman in our rear lines. 1 Royal Guard went over here to charge 1 archer, and Dunharrow charged this other archer. We're safe for a moment for a turn from counter charges. Obviously next turn is a different option. This Rohirrim, he didn't charge, is on a 2 on 1, and then the one who's on our objective, he's already outnumbered, so he abandoned his post as it were and charged 1 Dunlending with a 2-handed axe. See if we can win a fight and just thin the horde a little bit. We'll go on to shooting and then combats. Shooting phase, the Dunlendings 3 in this tower shot into Dunharrow's combat. 1 hit and hit her but failed to wound, and then Royal Guards both shot at this front line here with their throwing spears and both missed. Straight into combat.
We're on to the combats now. We're going to do the double Axeman versus the Rider, but the double Axeman's going to use his sword.
Okay, so 2 attacks from the Rider. Ooh, 1 up the tray. 4 and a 4 and a 1. 4 high.
And the Swordman does a 1, so we win for the Rider.
Okay, 4 attacks, needing 5s. Yep, we get him on 1.
Next, we have a single Rider versus 2 warriors, one with a 2-hander and one with a normal axe. They're both going to piercing strike, and the 2-hander's going to go 2-hand. So he's on a 4, and the other guy's on a 3.
Okay, the Rider's only 1 attack as he got charged. 5 high, so we win that combat.
Yeah, the banner's not in range. The shield and Axeman is down to defense 2, and the 2-hander is down to defense 2.
We'll strike the shielded guys. He's normally harder to kill. 4s? No. Then we have 2 Royal Guard, 1 who charged against the Wild Man. 3 dice from the Royal Guard.
Oh.
Only a 3 high, it's classic.
Come a little wild man.
Yeah, he does
4
it.
high. The Wildman is going to strike at the horse that he really hates, and he gets +1 to wound. So on a 4, he does do it. So we'll dismount the closest to the objective.
Okay, and Throne Rider check. We're all good. Next up, we have Theoden and Royal Guard against 1 Dunlending horseman in the rear lines. We have 1 attack from the Royal Guard and 2 from Theoden. 5 high at the moment.
Okay, and the horseman, he needs a 6 to survive this.
Don't you dare.
It's a 1.
5s to kill on the Royal Guard. No, and 4s from Theoden. Yeah, get him twice over.
Penultimate fight now between a Royal Guard and a warrior with a bow. The warrior's going to lead off. And he gets a 1.
Okay, and the Royal Guard get 5 high. So thankfully that's all right. And then 4 strikes to kill. No, amazing.
Nasty.
Jesus, wow. And lastly, we have Dunharrow versus 1 archer. Let's see what we can do. 4 dice, only a 5 high.
She's still got that might point if she needs it.
No,
And it's a 2.
And 4s to kill. Just. Okay.
A pretty inconclusive fight phase for that turn, though I think Rohan is just edged out. Dunland didn't manage to score a kill, but they did take down one of the Royal Guard's horses. Unfortunately, that Royal Guard fluffing his role means that Dunland is still 2 models away from breaking. Rohan remains 1 model away from breaking. Into the priorities for the next turn. Dunland on a 2.
Rohan, big 6. There we go. It's what we might have needed. Start the turn, and no heroics are called either side. I'm guessing that's because a particular reason.
I think this game has still got a little way to go, and I'm currently enjoying a might advantage that I'm just trying to hold for. The best I would have managed was maybe to catch one of the riders, and you know, otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah, so we've actually done a bit of disengaging here. The Royal Guard charged his nemesis, this archer over here. We've reformed battle line with Theoden, sort of, near the objective that we want to claim. A couple of throwing spears, maybe. Over here we've got 2 Royal Guards charging this mighty wild man. The rider, who was in the centre, has disengaged all the way back to this objective, and we've given up the objective in our deployment zone by disengaging over here. But however, if we can avoid losing a single model, we'll still not be broken, and there's a chance we might be able to push the Dunlendings towards broken. The last thing was Dunharrow could have charged in. It was really tempting, but Dunland have to move next, and she would have just got countercharged. So she's actually tucked herself under this tower that has plagued her all game long. She offers up a nice 10-inch threat bubble for next turn, maybe towards that objective, but at the moment she's unengaged. So on to Dunland regular moves.
The army of Dunland's normal movement, we've moved the, a Huskar wall forwards. We're advancing on the point with Theoden and his very few horsemen, and kind of keeping 1 model back to try and control that middle objective, but Dunhelm's still there. And then on our flanks, we don't really have any good choices. The 2 warriors are chasing after that rider that got away, and then the backfield objective, the chieftain and the warrior are just kind of staying within 3, but they don't really have a good option. So we don't have much movement, and we're on to shooting.
Rohan shooting, all we have is 2 throwing spears. Royal Guard on the left into a Huskar, hits, and a 5 to kill. That is a kill.
Ooh, that's unpleasant.
And the Royal Guard on the right is going to throw his spear at Thrydan. That is a miss.
The 3 Dunlending warriors are just going to take pot shots at Theoden on his fancy horse. 3 dice, we're hitting on 4s.
Ooh, 1 up the tray.
One out the tray. Let's do that again. Sadly, just the one hit. Is it his horse or is it Theoden? It's his horse. It's an armoured horse, so we're looking for sixes here. Oh!
Unbelievable scenes. All right, I think we've got to spend his point of fate because we want to keep him on the horse. Yeah, we're all good. So he's down his only point of fate, but he keeps his horse. Straight into the combat phase. We only have 2 combats, one against a stubborn wildman and one against a stubborn archer. We'll start with the wildman. 2 royal guard, 1 in charge, 3 dice, 5 high.
Okay, and the wildman is looking for a 6 here.
I saw it flash
I saw it.
4 attacks from the rider. Yep, he kills him.
No.
And the last combat is another royal guard against the stubborn archer. 2 attacks.
Come on, boy.
Yeah, you get it. There you go. Okay, he gets pushed back.
He's looking for 5s, but he gets +1 because of the Dunland hatred of Rohan. So 4s. God, that's a kill.
And that is the end of the turn. Really small amount of combat, but really consequential. Both sides are now broken, or will be at the start of the next turn. So we'll have to start taking some checks. Looks real thin on the board, but everything is still to play for. So go straight into priority. Rohan, roll a big 1. And a big 1 from Dunland. However, it goes to Dunland as Rohan had it last.
It's a difficult turn, so Dunland priority means that Rohan is choosing to...
Yeah, really difficult. Theoden's going to use his last point of might for a move. I really don't want to, but these 3 Royal Guard are all in range of that Huskar wall with Thrydan. I think they'll just die if they get charged, because they're uniquely suited to just chop them down, and then I'll be really close to getting quartered. If I can move, Theoden could just draw them back and tease out another couple of turns where maybe we have priority. Other than that, we could have called one on Dunharrow, but it wouldn't have really done anything, as she would only catch herself and would be charge and then get surrounded. So Thrydan counter-called, I believe.
Yeah, Thrydan's called a counter, so we're looking at a roll-off here, and it goes to... Evil. Okay, with that very fluky victory for Dunland, we are looking at both sides being broken. So first off, there's a courage check for Thrydan. He has a special rule which means his stand fast is 12 inches, so it's going to catch quite a lot of models. But first, let's see if he passes. He's looking for a 6 on 2 dice because he's courage 4. And yeah, 10. He's good. So for the Dunland movement, I had one model that could maybe reach Theoden, but it's my horseman who's quite precious. He's not charged in then. They're ganging up on the Royal Guards, trying to drag them down and leave Theoden exposed. Thrydan's gone straight up the middle. All the Huskarls moving in to support. The last Huskarl that was in the bubble is just standing still on that objective, but he might get charged by Dunharrow. We'll see.
And Theoden's heroic move, all he can do is charge in. He's tagged that 1 Huskarl to stop the support on the Royal Guard next to him. And we're on to regular Dunland moves.
For the rest of the Dunland movements, we've got to take some courage checks. The chieftain and his fellow, they passed, so the chieftain's gone in to engage that rider. The lone Dunland warrior is holding the objective. Over in the middle bit here, 1 Dunlending has run away, which has left the other one mightily exposed. And the archer on the flank, flushed with success, he's standing and he's still there, whereas 1 in the tower has run away.
Rohan moves, not much. A couple Royal Guards just charged over here. Hopefully we can gang up on that 1 Dunlending and secure that objective. Dunharrow couldn't see this Dunlending on the objective, so couldn't charge, but has just moved up, passed a courage check, and everything else is in combat. So we're on to shooting and then combats.
Both archers in the shooting phase tried to shoot at Dunharrow. They failed. From the Rohan side, there's no shooting.
Straight into combats.
In the combat phase, we're going to call a heroic combat on Thrydan. This may be the chance to take down Theoden. That spends the last point of might on this side of the board. We've got 1 left on the chieftain.
Into the combat phase, Thrydan's heroic combat versus a lone Royal Guard. He needs to stay alive to protect his liege lord. See what we can do. I'll set the bar and see what you have to beat with my single attack. 5 high, okay, not awful.
All right, so Thrydan's not going to two-hand this.
Sure.
To try and maximise this. We get a 6.
Sure, there we go.
Thrydan's got 2 attacks with hatred, so he's looking for 4s. Oh, snake eyes! And I didn't say I was fainting. And then the other axeman, he's got a 5, which is a wound and kills that Royal Guard. on to the rest of the normal combats. We'll start over at this end with the chieftain versus the lone warrior.
Yeah, he's just swinging with 1 dice. 5 high again.
Also 5 high. The chieftain's not going to two-hand. He's strength 5, so he's good. We get a 5, so we just win that on fight. With our hatred, we're looking for 4s. Again! Double 1s.
Next fight on the left flank with the Rohirrim surrounding this lone Dunlending. Set the bar for us, why not?
Okay, this guy's going to go wild. He's not shielding. Let's roll a 6. No, we get the opposite.
The opposite. Okay, and we get 5 high with the Rohirrim. 5's to kill. No, but he is prone, so we get that second time. Okay, we get it on the second roll.
Over in the combat in the middle, in the little rocky gully, we've got a Huskarl and a warrior versus the Royal Guard. We'll set the bar. We've got 2 attacks here, but we are fight 3 only.
Oh, at the tray. 2
That's
high.
a 2 and a 1.
Okay,
I've got a banner.
dice. Also a 1.
The Huskarl and the warrior just striking normally. We didn't do any special strikes. We didn't want to take the risk. 4s with the hatred. That's a kill.
Second to last combat, we have a Royal Guard who got charged by a Dunlending rider, so 1 dice aside. Royal Guard rolls a big 5.
The rider.
Ooh,
He's got the 6.
No banner, so he wins it.
The rider's going to strike the guardsman. He's looking for 4s here. And he gets a 1.
Final fight, we have leader versus leader, Theoden versus Thrydan, and 2 Huskarls. 3 attacks versus 4 attacks on each side. Any special strikes? Is Thrydan two-handing it?
Yeah, Thrydan and the Huskarl are going to two-hand.
Okay.
We need to get this wound or this leader kill.
Okay, so you set the bar, why not?
Okay, so Thrydan's 2 attacks. Oh,
3 high
that's
so
a
far.
3 high. We've got a banner. Okay, the Huskarl. That's a 1. And the supporting Huskarl.
Big
Oh,
6.
gets the 6.
Okay.
Ouch.
So we've got 3 from Theoden. We're not going to do any special strikes either. Got the 6 as well.
Oh.
Down to the last thing, right? Roll off. Evil priority, you roll it. 1 to 3. Come on, 4 up. We don't need to win one of these. Come on.
All right, we're rolling off on a tie. Oh.
Good 1-1 finally.
Just go to good.
There we go. So everyone is knocked prone. That is insane. Amazingly, Theoden has saved it at the last. That roll off was huge. We have 6 attacks because everyone is knocked prone. We're going to throw them all. They are 5s to wound thanks to the bonus. 1 wound, but I'll take it. He survived by the skin of his teeth. That was against Thrydan, so I presume he wants to throw his fate.
Yeah, Thrydan's going to spend one of his fate points. Hopefully pass this.
Ooh,
Hopefully roll it in the
Too
tray.
excited. No, fails 1.
Oh, all right, he's going to spend his second fate point. Oh, no.
And that is the end of the turn. Absolutely incredible. Theoden hanging on by the skin of his teeth. We aren't actually on the objective, so the game, if it ended now, would probably be a bad loss for us. But neither of us are near quartering yet. We're a few off. And we are going to roll straight away for priority. Another huge priority roll. Rohan, another 1.
And Dunland.
A
Oh,
2.
on a 2.
Okay, on to Dunland moves.
For the Dunland movement, Thrydan passed his courage check, keeping everyone within 12 of him, still in the fight. We've surrounded Theoden, tagged that 1 Royal Guard. In the tower, 1 archer ran away. The other Huskarl is engaged Dunhelm to turn off that charge bonus. And then on the flank, the chieftain also passed his courage check, keeping them still in the game. He's charged that rider, but we can't control the board very well with 2 other riders and a Royal Guardsman. It's over to Rohan.
And the Rohan moves. It's looking grim, but we're not going to let Dunland have this. The Royal Guard over here just charged Hail Mary back towards this giant scrum to see if he can relieve some of the stress, maybe head for that objective. The one who's been dehorsed may as well hold this central objective. This rider has moved half to take a bow shot at that Dunlending on his own and then possibly charge him next turn. And other than that, everything else is in combat. So we're on to shooting.
In the shooting phase, the 2 Dunland warriors tried to shoot into the combat with the Royal Guard. They struggled to make any impact though and missed completely.
Okay, and the 1 Rohan shot, amazingly, a 6 followed by a 5, shot over here and killed the Dunlending warrior who was holding our objective. Skin of our teeth the whole game, honestly. And into the combat phase, another tough decision. There's 1 point of might left on the board for good, and it is Eowyn's. She's going to spend it to try and heroic combat into this big scrum and save Theoden. We're desperately trying to hold on to points here. we're pretty close to being quartered. Both sides are sort of, but Rohan's a little bit closer. And so, yeah, we're going to have to. And if, I presume, no heroics from evil side, with the 1 point over there.
Actually, I will heroic combat.
Yep, to get back onto that objective.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got 2 heroics going off. Let's see who goes off first. Oh, it is goods. Okay, combat phase. Eowyn or Dernhelm's heroic combat goes off first. We got 3 dice against the 1 Huskarl and need this to go off. So set the bar for us, why don't you, Mr. Dunland?
Okay, the Huskarl's on a 3. Okay. That's not great.
Eowyn and Merry, 4 high. Still not great, but enough. Knocked prone, and we are needing 5s to kill. Yeah, got it on a couple of dice. There we go. And Eowyn charges into the back of this combat. She tags the banner, which is great. Part of the sneaky plan is that Merry, as part of the move after the combat, dismounts and holds that objective. So it's just Eowyn now, not Dernhelm. But that's still okay. We've got a charge bonus, and we're hitting there. So we're on to heroic combat number 2 with the Dunlending Chieftain. 1 rider against the Chieftain. I'll set the bar with my 1 dice. 5 high again.
So 5 high. The Chieftain is he needs to 2-hand. He needs to win this. He needs to get back on the objective. So 2 attacks, and it's predictable. That goes to a 2 and a 1. Sadly, he loses that, and it's a waste of might.
Okay, 5 to wound. No, nothing.
We come to the great battle of our time between Theoden and a bunch of angry farmers with axes.
Theoden will set the bar this time. Only 2 attacks as he was charged. No special strikes my end. Let's see what we get. 5 high.
Oh, he likes it.
No bonus to get to a 6.
Right. Our 2 Huskarls are going to use their 2-hand axe. We get the 5. So we are currently tying this fight. Then Thrydan is using just his sword, so he's not -1. And that goes to a 4 high. And then we have a support, also on a 5. And we have a Dunland warrior. Come on. No.
Banner.
We get 1 banner reroll, also into a 5.
Okay, 5 high both sides, so that is another roll off. That's ridiculous. Go on, Dunland, evil priority, your choice.
All right, 1, 2, 3, evil, 4, 5, 6, good. Oh, it goes good this time.
Hand of Sauron.
Oh, it went good last time.
Yeah. 2 strikes, we're going to strike Thrydan, needing a 5 to wound. No, double 2, that combat continues. Penultimate combat, we have a Huskarl versus a Royal Guard who didn't charge. So 1 dice, a big 3, and a 3, so...
I'll take the banner reroll on the Huskarl because you've got higher fight than me. Into a 1, the Royal Guard wins.
5s to kill, no.
Finally, we have Eowyn versus a Dunlending warrior with a stick and a flag on it.
You set the bar.
I'm going to set the bar. This is at -1.
Well, not bad.
Oh, it's a 3.
Okay, we get a 6. Considering our rolls recently, backing away, hands it over to a Huskarl before perishing. And that is the end of the turn. Looking even more bare somehow. We are respectively 3 and 1 away from being quartered for Rohan and Dunland, which will bring the end of the game. So we're looking at possibly the last turn, but we have another pretty consequential priority roll. Rohan get 5.
Dunland, on the
Big
6.
Another priority for Dunland.
Start of the movement phase. It was a good one for Dunland. We passed all of our standfasts. The Chieftain has backed off. He's gonna get charged, but, well, I couldn't stop any of that. In the middle, Thrydan, he passed his standfast, so everyone within 12 stayed still. We've re-engaged with Theoden. We've tagged Eowyn and that Royal Guard, and gone over to stop this other Royal Guard from countercharging. At the back, 2 archers still there. They've moved, one of them is standing still, he might take a shot at Merry, the other one has moved up to try and get a shot. On to Rohan movement.
Rohan moves, almost nothing to do on this side of the board, everything's in combat. Merry just backed up ever so slightly, he's still within 3, but hopefully he'll be shielded from a shot from at least one of those archers. On this side of the board, discretion's the better part of valour, and we've moved both Rohirrim round to within 3 inches of this objective marker. Bit cowardly, but we currently outnumber the Chieftain, so at least we're securing that objective if the game does end this turn. Straight on to shooting.
Okay, in the shooting phase, the archer in the tower had no shot because Merry's hidden, but the other archer who'd moved really wants to kill the hobbit. He rolled a 6 to hit and a 6 to wound.
Yeah, so we had to roll one of our fate and we passed it on a 4. So he's left with 1 wound, 1 fate, and straight onto the combats.
With no might left on the table, we're on to a combat phase without any heroics.
We've got 1 Royal Guard versus 1 Horseman who charged each other, so 1 dice apiece. 4 high from the Royal Guard, 2 high from the Horseman. We'll strike the Rider, needing 5s. No.
Now on to the rest of the combats. We've got Eowyn versus a single Huskarl. 1 dice from the Huskarl. Oh, he's on a 5.
5 high, 2 dice from Eowyn, double Oof. 6. She loves it. 5s to kill. Oh, not quite. Adds up to a 5.
Okay, into the rest of the last 2 combats. We're going to do the Theoden one as he's currently trapped and we really need to win one of these. We've got Thrydan who's going to strike normally. The Huskarl is going to strike normally. The Banner obviously is -1 and a Warrior who's on normal dice. So, starting with Thrydan. We've got the 6. So, Theoden, can you roll a 6?
Okay, 2 dice. Can we do it? No, 4 high. So he loses that combat finally.
Okay. Finally, Thrydan's chance to shine. 4 dice to strike. That's it. King of Rohan's out.
Last combat, a Royal Guard versus a Huskarl. He charged him. Royal Guard rolls a 5 high, not bad.
And the Huskarl is on a 3. I'll take the banner reroll into a 5. So that is a win for the Royal Guard on fight.
Just squeaking through on our fight value. Need a 5 to see if we can kill this Huskarl. Oh, there we go. We finally bring 1 down. And that is the end of the combat. Just by killing that 1 Dunlending, the Royal Guard has tipped the Dunland into quartered with only 9 models left on the board. So the game ends at this turn. Completely bloody all around. We've got very little of our forces left. We'll count up the points and see who has won. We'll come back to you.
All right, so that was that. It was a very tight, bloody fight. And we've totted up the scores. Despite quite a lot of back and forth between the 2 sides, it is a victory for Rohan.
Yeah, just by the skin of our teeth in like 6 different times, I reckon that game went one way than the other.
It's very tight. I mean, the little shot taking out the warrior on the side, that stopped Dunland from scoring 4 points, which would have put us in the lead.
Yeah, it would have been, you were a point ahead. Breaking it down, so what, Dunland got 2 points for leader kill?
2 points. For the leader kill.
Yeah.
Both forces were very broken. Both forces were very close to being quartered.
Yeah, right. Almost
so we got 1 point aside for that. Dunland managed to have Thrydan and the warrior were close to the objective at the bottom. But that's only worth 1 point because it was our deployment zone.
So 4 in total for Dunland. And then Rohan, we got a wound on Thrydan. We tried our best, but only wounded him. So 1 point. We got 1 point for breaking. So 1 point there, and then we got 1 point for holding our own objective in our deployment zone, and luckily we held the 2 central ones right at the end. Merry and a single Royal Guard holding out, gaining us 2 points apiece, so 4, taking us up to 7. So that's a final score of 7-4. As they say, I don't think the score reflects how tight that game was. I think a couple of dice rolls, and my dice tried really hard to throw that. I think your dice did as well.
I think my chieftain could have done better at the end there.
Yeah. I think there were numerous times where actually a couple of points and that would have been completely the other way around, 7-4 Dunland, or even worse, like one way or another. Thoughts in your Dunland run out?
I mean, having played Dunland for a little while, when they hit extremely hard.
That turn when you called the +1/+1.
That was nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the strength 4. It's the fact that basically everyone has an axe, so everyone can go to strength 5.
Yep.
Lots of two-handed weapons, so a lot of +1s. In this, obviously, having the hatred on the Rohan, that's great. That's another +1.
Yeah.
So, the potential to do a lot of damage is there, but your best models have fight 5, and they are very few.
Yeah.
And all of your warriors can't get to fight 4, basically, unless the Huskarls have the little bonus, but they have to support. They have to be within 3 inches of a hero.
It's a bit of a weird one.
It's quite a there's quite a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you've got Royal Guard who are charging, and it's like, oh yeah, if they're within 12 inches of Theoden, they're fight 5.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, conversely, I think we lost most priorities in the second half of that game, so we didn't get to charge at all, which is Rohan's huge Achilles heel. If we'd won 2 or 3 of those priorities, I think actually, again, it would have, not even through any skill, but just from the sheer bonuses that Rohan get on the charge,
swung
would have gone
ways,
really quickly, you know, the other way. I think it's huge. It's quite an inverse, interesting, like the Rohan have the fight advantage and sometimes the attacks advantage, but if they're not on the charge, they don't have that strength, so they might be winning a lot of fights but not killing, whereas Dunland, a lot of the fights they won, they were killing stuff, which is actually quite unusual in Middle-earth, I guess, because of our odd matchup of you are the exact hard counter to my Legendary Legion, which is fun. You know, that's the fun.
I mean, the story goes that Dunland was actually, as a Legendary Legion, was created to stop the dominance of Rohan in the tournament scene. Maybe. They do, you know, counter pretty hard, but I mean, I think you still did a good course there. I
think it came down to luck as much as player skill, and I think we got weirdly good shooting.
Yeah,
that's really bizarre.
Some of the best Middle-earth shooting I've seen for a while.
Taking out Thrydan's horse, I felt bad until you took out Dealwine's horse, who then also died with 2 points of might left on the table. Yeah. And then the Oathmaker also died with 2 points of might on the table.
Stripped Fate off of Theoden by shooting his horse, managing to hit and wound Merry. Like, I mean,
absolutely outstanding.
You on
shooting.
The second turn just straight up killed 2 warriors. Like,
throwing spears weren't bad either. Killed a couple of Huskars.
Actually, did they do anything? Oh no, you got one. You broke me with a spear. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, it's just really bizarrely good. But hey,
weirdly good.
You've got to have some games where you do actually have good shooting. Occasionally it works. Yeah, that was amazing fun. I hope you guys enjoy it too. It's been a lot of work to get these together, but we've been enjoying putting these boards together. Keep an eye out we have a lot more match play games coming. We have Quest of the Ring Bearer coming soon. You might be able to see some of the bits and bobs that we've been using for it behind us here. Final thoughts?
Dunland wants its land back.
And with that, we'll ask if you did enjoy this. Please like, comment, subscribe, see who you thought should have won, and we will see you in the next game. Goodbye.